What's going on, y'all? It's Coach Williz, man, and this is the Be Eazy Show, man. You know, on the Be Eazy Show, man, we cover topics about success. We learned about why success is personal, what success means to a community, right? And what is the driving force that makes us wake up every single day and go after the things that we want in our life. This is the Be Eazy Show, man, so be easy.
What's going on, y'all? It's Coach Willis, and once again, we are back, man. I hope everybody has been doing well, man. I hope everything has been going well for you, man. Uh, Before we get too far into it, man, if you're listening to this on the podcast platform, man, if you could like, subscribe, rate, and review, get the word out there. No different than the YouTube, man. Like, subscribe, comment, share it, man, to get the word out there, man. We gladly appreciate it. Same thing with the Instagram, the TikTok, man. Follow, like, comment, share, and just help spread the message, man, because we gladly appreciate it, man. But I wanted to get on here, man, and really touch over something that's very present in the moment. Something that's currently going on, man. As y'all know, when I go live on these Instagrams, I normally go live at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. But today, man, as you can tell, it's not 6 p.m. right now. It's not 6 p.m. But I still wanted to get on here, and I still wanted to keep going with this thing that I was putting forth, that every single Monday I'm going to get on here. I'm going to keep giving y'all a word, whether y'all tuned in or y'all not. I'm going to keep giving y'all a word, man. And that's why I chose the title for this one, no different than I did, man. You have come too far to quit. And I felt myself, man, the other day, man. I felt myself when I had to come out with a video. I felt myself on a plateau, like, man, like, it's not that I didn't want to do it, and it's not that I was, like, dreading the fact that I had to do it again. But I was just like, man, like, this joint don't stop. You know what I'm saying? I made the commitment to make a post every single day. And this joint don't stop. Like, every time that sun gets back up, I have to come out with a new post. You see what I'm saying? I got to come out with new content. I got to come out with new things that's going to touch y'all in a way that's going to help make y'all better people every single day, man. Because I told myself I was going to do it. And I make sure that I do it. You know what I'm saying? It's no different than me still getting on here. I said I was going live every single Monday. Y'all may have messed up on the time, but I still said I was going live every single Monday, man. And that you got to keep doing it. You got to keep going, man. You come too far to quit, man. You come too far to quit. And see, I noticed, man, because I'm graduating this Friday, man. This Friday, from Rose State College, man. Shout out to the Raiders, man. They say it's always greater to be a Raider. But yeah, I'm graduating this Friday. And man, I was just thinking about this, man. My whole trial when I was going into school, man, my whole trial of me going into school was a up and down shift. There was a lot of changes. There was a lot of stuff going on while I was going into school. When I first started going to school, man, I was going full time, no different as most people do when they first get into school. I was going full time, and I was taking 4 classes, man. And on top of those 4 classes, I had overlapped with 2 of my classes. I can't really remember. I think it was like a math class and like a personal finance class. I think those 2 classes overlapped, and because one was ending, let's just say, I think one was ending like 2, and the next one was ending at one was ending at 2, and the one was starting at like 1:50, and they were overlapping. So I was showing up to the one that started at 1:50 every single day, like 15 minutes late. And it went on for about, you only had 2 classes a week. So on the second day, the professor pulled me to the side. I was like, man, what's the deal? You coming in late? And the semester just started. And I told her what my deal was. Well, she said, well, email me and we'll get this sorted out. Well, me being new to college, I was like, bro, I got time, like I'm treating it like it's high school. I got time. They're not going to kick me out this class anyway because it's already on my schedule. And I didn't get back with her through the whole weekend. Come back to Monday, what does she do? She kicks me out the class, man. So now I'm down to 3 classes, and I've been academically withdrawn from 1 class. Well, that math class, if I would have done this earlier, that math class I felt like I knew more than what that math class was offering. Like the stuff in that math class, I felt like I already knew that stuff. So I went and took my placement test and tested out of that math class. So now I'm down to 2 classes. I got an educational planning class, and I have a intro, like a zero level English class, man. This is my first semester in college, man. I got a zero level class that's not giving me no credit, and an educational planning class that's probably the most impactful class I've ever taken up there, besides public speaking. But so I'm taking those two classes, man, and I'm noticing. I'm like, man, I got two classes, man. So the next semester rolls around. Now I did the same thing. I took two classes because I was like, man, I don't want to take 4 classes again when I'm gonna get that same outcome. So I took 2 classes. I think that semester was the semester that my car started breaking down, man, and my car started going through its trials. So I had 2 cars at the time. One of my cars I ended up letting go. The next car made it through that next semester. Going into the next semester after that, I think that was the first year or the second year. Yeah, my car broke down on me. So I was using my mom's car to get back and forth to school, right? And then my mom, you know what I'm saying, I was like, man, I can't keep using your car. You got to use your car. I can't have to depend on your car to get around. So I started taking public transportation to get around. And I'm talking walking miles back home, going back and forth, man, just to get around, using this form of transportation to get around. And man, I was just like, on top of that, I was going through this transition, man, where I was working jobs, didn't have a job, had some money saved up, thought I was on top of the world because I had a nice chunk of money saved up, quit my job. Now I have no form of income. I just got this money saved up. I don't have I had a car at that point. Got this money saved up and got a car, and I thought that I was doing something. Well, after that, man, now, like I said, I'm still trying to figure out how to go to school. I'm going to school. I'm taking like 1 class a semester, maybe 2 classes a semester, man. And right when I met my fiance, man, I was on the verge of like dropping out because I was like really going through this transition period of finding myself, right? And I was like learning a lot of stuff about myself, and I was like, man, maybe this ain't for me. Maybe going to school is not for me. And I was on the fence, like, man, I think I'm gonna just drop out and stop going altogether. I don't really feel like I don't feel like still doing this. I'm not seeing no purpose out of it. I still don't know what I want to do. I haven't figured out if I want to do media. I haven't figured out if I want to do business. I haven't figured out if I wanted to do English. I haven't figured out what I wanted to do at all, man. Like, I'm still questioning which major is good for me at that point. And I'm like, man, I'm just about to drop out and say, forget it, bro. Like, this ain't for me. I meet my fiance, man, and my fiance at the point, man, like, she's still on her grind now. But at that point, she was on, she's on a serious grind now, but even at that point, she was still on a serious grind. And she runs, and she's messing with me. So at the time that I met her, I was taking 1 class. Meanwhile, she was going to school full time. I think she was working on like the days she didn't go to school, and she was going to church, right? And I was just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a homie was going to school. I was going to 1 class. I had 2 jobs at that point. I had 2 jobs at that point. And I didn't have a car. I had 2 jobs, didn't have a car, and I was taking 1 class a semester. So I'm really thinking that I'm doing something, you know what I'm saying? I'm really feeling like I'm doing something. I mean, I'm like, man, this girl's blowing me out the water, bro. And I'm like, man, I need to keep up. Like, literally, I need to keep up. And I was really on the verge of quitting before I met her, man. But when I seen that she was doing that, and she started telling me, like, man, like, how many credits do you have? I remember before, I was just taking classes. I was just taking the classes that I thought that I needed to take, which actually, it was just the basics. I wasn't taking no really major classes, like no classes that really dealt with a specific major, because I was still on the fence of what I wanted to do. So I got with her, and she had told me, like, yeah, what do you want to do? Like, we need to map this out. So we go get a degree sheet, man. And she started mapping out my credits, gets my transcript, and mapping out my credits and adding up. And she was like, look, man, you got like I think less than 30 credits left, and you gonna graduate. And like I said at the time, I was about to drop out. I was about to, man, this thing's gonna take forever. I've already been going to school for 2 years. It's no way that I'm gonna finish this thing off, man. And I got with her, man. I said the next semester after that, I was like, man, I'm going to take 3 classes. So I ended up taking 3 classes. Now I'm taking more classes. I quit one of my jobs, so now I'm just working one job, taking 3 classes. Had a car at this point. So things look like they're picking up, right? It looks like it's really going good for me. Well, then this is when I got the money saved up. I get the money saved up and I quit that job. And I'm going to school full time now. And I'm using that as an excuse to not get another job. But I'm going to school full time. And that's really all I'm doing. I'm just passing my classes, doing my thing. And I got to the point, man, this had nothing to do with school at all. But this had everything to do with me. And I was really struggling within myself for trying to figure out what I like to do versus what I don't like to do. Who was Isaiah and what is Isaiah going to do with the gift that God has given him? And I'm talking about I was back and forth trying to figure this thing out. And it didn't make no sense to me. I couldn't really click and I couldn't really like make sense. I was so lost within myself. I was so confused within my own mind. This is why I preach so hard to y'all about a vision, because I was so confused within my own mind about who I was. And by me doing that, since I really had no clarity over what I love to do, what I like to do, what I don't like to do, you know what I'm saying, what really makes me happy, what doesn't make me happy, who am I outside of just the name that the world has given me, who am I? And I'm talking about I was all over the place. I was reading all types of books and all these type of things, bro. And I was just all over the place and I couldn't make sense of the situation. Well, when my fiance gave me that sheet and I seen it, I was like, man, I'm really not that far away from graduating. Like, I'm really close to doing this thing, man. I'm a full-time student doing that full-time. And I'm still trying to, like, question myself, like, every single day, what do I like to do? And I remember one of my professors came up to me, man. She was like, man, we can help you get a scholarship. They helped me get a scholarship. On top of them helping me get a scholarship, y'all, man, they got me a job as a work study up there at the school. And, you know what I'm saying, I ended up doing that until Corona had broke out, man. And then when Corona broke out and they sent us online, you know what I'm saying, I lost the work study job. On top of losing the work study job, man, you know what I'm saying, I'm not working at this point, so now I'm just going to school and everything is online. Well, I ended up getting another full-time job, man, and I'm going to school online and I'm trying to balance this stuff out, man, but it's not really making any sense to me. I'm just like, man, I'm going to school online and it's like the finish line is just right there. I'm feeling like I'm so close, man, but I'm feeling like I still got so much stuff to do, man. I still got so many credits to make up for. I still got so many things to plan for. I got a lot of other stuff going on, man. And even though, like I said, things started to pick up and my fiance put me on a track to where I knew that I was going to graduate soon, I still felt like every single day, like, man, I don't want to do this. Like, I really would rather just quit, you know what I'm saying, just stack me some bread, figure this thing out, and, you know what I'm saying, become wealthy some way, somehow. And I was so ready, like, numerous times to just quit, throw in the towel, say, forget this, it ain't for me. She had... it wasn't even that she was like pep talking me and motivating me time and time again, but it was her example that she was setting out for me, man. And every time I would just look over and I would see the classes that she was taking versus the classes I was taking, not that I was belittling myself, but I was just like, man, if she can do it, surely I can do it, man. Like I said, you have come too far to quit, man. Some of y'all are getting to that point to where we getting close to the line. We getting close to the end of the semester. We getting close to the due dates, man. We getting close to the crunch time. And now you want to start throwing in the towel because things are stacking up on you. Now you want to start throwing in the towel because things ain't going the way that you wanted them to go. Now you want to start throwing in the towel just because you don't feel like it's looking the way that you think it should look. You have come too far to quit. You putting too much work, y'all. Way too much work, man. I'm just using the school as an example because I graduate this Friday, but it's other things going on in my life right now, man. It's things coming up that I got to plan for this wedding for me and my fiance. I've been trying to work and get this house together, man, so we can have a place to stay after we get married. And it's not just me. It's a huge help on her as well. But I'm telling you, man, it's not that I want to quit and I want to give up on her. But it's that sometimes I'm getting burnt out of wedding planning. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting burnt out of like doing all this stuff for this house. And it's not that I want to quit on the relationship, but man, on all these other responsibilities that we about to take on, I just want to give up on those. But I've come too far to quit. Right? I made too much of a commitment. I've stood in too many people's face and said, I'm going to look after her and I'm going to be there for her. I made too much of a commitment every single day to say, look, I'm not giving in on this. I'm not giving up and I'm not going to throw in the towel. I made too much of a commitment to look in my little brother's face and say, people like us graduate. People like us get degrees. People like us go to school and we do great things with our life. I've made too much of a commitment to just give in and say, this ain't for me. And y'all have made too much of a commitment yourself to keep quitting and keep giving it in. Right? And you think I'm talking like I'm just big game right here, like I'm just doing just the thing and like I ain't never been through that. No, I told y'all, man, I got to the point of my senior year in baseball. I had my senior year in baseball. I'm not trying to brag like I had colleges calling me out, but I probably could have went somewhere and played college ball if I would have stuck with it. But it gets down to my senior year, and this is what I'm talking about. You have come too far to quit, y'all. You got to keep rethinking about. I posted that thing the other day. Have you thought about your vision today? And I need you to keep rethinking about your vision, because the farther and farther that you get away from your vision, it's no different than, man. It's no different than me and my family, we were driving to El Paso, Texas. And we had to drive through New Mexico to get down to El Paso. When you get to New Mexico, it's a mountain range in New Mexico. At least on the highway, I don't know what the highway was, but the highway that we were on, it's a mountain range, right? And from a distance, when you driving up to that mountain range, when it's in the distance, that mountain range looks so small. It looks small, and that's your vision at first. Your vision is small. You still thinking about it. You still thinking about what you want to do with it. You still thinking about how it impacts you, how it impacts other people. Did God really call for you to do this? You still thinking about your vision in that sense. Well, when you gain more clarity, like, yeah, this is my vision. This is what I want to do with my life. This is who I was called to be. This is the thing that I was told to cultivate and care about and raise up and make something out of it, that where it's bigger than me to where it can glorify God. Like, this is the thing. Like, this is the vision. Now it's seen as a big mountain. We driving through it and we getting real close to those mountains. These mountains look huge. Because from the distance when we was first pulling up on them, I was like, man, I could probably climb that mountain. Then when that mountain is literally like right, like you got to turn your whole head. It's just right there. It's not up in the distance in front of you no more. It's right there to the side of you. Like, oh, I probably can't climb that today. That thing is huge. Like, that's a whole mountain right there. Well, the farther and farther you start getting away from that mountain, what does it become? It becomes smaller and small. It becomes harder and harder to see, harder and harder to really think about again, harder and harder to really envision and say, man, look. What did that mountain really look at? What were all the details in that mountain? Oh, that mountain really looked like this? Did it really was it shaped like that? It becomes harder and harder for you to see those things. The same thing goes with your vision. It becomes harder and harder for you to see it when you don't think about it enough, when you don't see it enough, when it's not in your foresight enough, when it's not right there in front of you and you don't keep it in your mind enough. It becomes harder and harder to see. So that's why I need y'all to keep thinking about your vision over and over and over again, because the same thing happened to me, man. I got to the point to where I was in my senior year in high school and I just lost sight of the vision when it came to playing baseball. I lost sight of the vision. And what did I do since I lost sight of the vision? I ended up quitting. Right? I ended up quitting baseball because I lost sight of the vision. Right? And I had things on my goals when it came to baseball. Right? I wanted to do certain things and I did achieve those certain things, but there was still an overall goal that I was going for that I lost sight of. And I got sidetracked doing other things that I probably shouldn't have been doing. And since I was doing those other things, they took me off the path of the vision I was supposed to be on. You see what I'm saying? They took me off of that path. And by being off of that path, I quit on myself. And by me quitting on myself, I didn't understand all the sacrifices that I made to get to that point in my life. And I didn't let it plan out in the way that it was supposed to pan out. I didn't let it do it. I gave up on it too soon. That's what I'm saying. You've come too far to quit. You putting too much work for you to give in now. Right? We coming into the last few weeks of the semester. And some of y'all ready to start throwing in the towel. Some of y'all ready to start giving in. Some of y'all ready to start saying, man, these ain't for me. Right? And even if you've already completed your semester, now we about to go into the summertime. Some of y'all about to graduate. Some of y'all about to get out into this real world and show the world what you about. Right? And you thought that college was going to be the end. You thought by getting that piece of paper that you was going to be on top of the world. No, I need you to understand you just now beginning. And by you just now beginning, I need you to understand that, look, you have put in too much work to prepare yourself to get to this point. You putting way too much work to get yourself to this point, and to quit now. To start fearing because responsibilities is coming your way. To stop fearing because things ain't really in schedule like they was in school. People not making your schedule. People not telling you what to do, what you shouldn't do. People not telling you that this is due tonight and you should be doing this and this and this. And they not planning everything out for you. And by them not doing that stuff, now you need to understand that you need to start putting in more work than you have before. When you feel like quitting, when you feel like giving in, that's when you need to start digging, man. I posted that video the other day, man. I posted that video the other day that games aren't won on a full tank of energy, right? You look at these athletes, bro, after they win the championship, they not like, wow, yeah, they jumping up and down, and yeah, they on fire, and that adrenaline is still running. But what, they drenched in sweat. Right, they drenched in sweat. If you look at them a few plays before the game was over, they holding their pants, huffing and puffing, huffing and puffing, harder breathing. The reason why that's because they tired. Because games are not won on a full tank of energy. Games are won on that last drop of gas in your tank. That's how games are won. Because you've exhausted yourself to the full point that you've given everything of your being to get to that point into the game, to even make it a game. Right? And eventually getting to the point to where you dominate that game, but you still got to use everything in the tank to get to that point. The same thing goes for y'all's situation, whether it's being in school, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's starting a business, right? Whether it's being faithful, right? Whether it's your prayer, right? Your prayer life, whether it's whatever it is that you're doing, it's going to take energy, and you're going to have to exhaust something to get the results that you expected. You see what I'm saying? But you got to be willing to put in the work to do that. But you cannot quit on yourself, man. It's the one thing you can't do. I may have quit baseball, but I didn't quit on Isaiah. Right? You see what I'm saying? I may have quit these jobs before, but I didn't quit on Isaiah. I didn't quit on myself. And yes, I may have told myself that I wasn't worthy. Yeah, I may have beat myself down at times. But I kept picking myself up. I kept giving myself another chance. I kept having mercy on my own life. That I could do this. You have come too far to quit, y'all. You put in way too much work to start giving in the towel. You put in way too much work to say, maybe this ain't for me. Maybe you haven't given enough time to figure out if it is for you. You see? Why don't you commit to doing this for a long period of time? Why don't you commit to doing this every single day and seeing the things that can come out of it? Then maybe we can start to see the results that we want to see. But when you quit on yourself right before that growth was about to happen, when you quit on yourself right before that change was about to come, right, you never allow it to blossom. You never allow it to do the things it was supposed to do. Man, I told y'all, I'm going to tell this last story and I'm getting out of here. I had a point in my life, man, where I really, really wanted to be a farmer. And I still do. I still want to grow my own food. But I remember I bought these okra seeds, man. And I remember I just bought them, man. I had a little windowsill right there on my window. I put the seeds in the pot, and I'm out there just watering every single day, and they start to blossom. They start to germinate and grow and everything. Well, I remember I just got to the point, I was like, man, I'm tired of watering these things. It was 2 plants. And I was like, man, I'm tired of watering these things every day. Like, I'm forgetting. It's not on my forefront. I'm not doing it as soon as I wake up. I'm forgetting about it. You know, I'm not looking at it and cleaning to make sure no pests is getting on it. The wind may be blowing on it too hard. I'm not treating for it at all. Right? So I was like, man, I don't want to just like throw them away. So what I do is I took them out of the pots and I just put them in the back of my parents' backyard. I just stuck them back there in the ground, and the dirt that was in the soil, I just patted it around them and just threw them in the ground, right? And I'm telling you the truth, man. Those plants, those okra plants, man, they grew to actual okra. We didn't eat the okra because it was like, you know, like the grass was getting cut around them. No, it really wasn't a good environment for things to be grown. But they grew into okra. Like, you could pull it off and see the okra. And I was just like, man, like, I just threw those okra plants in the ground. I didn't even care for them. I didn't even do nothing for them, right? And that's your life right there. You got things in your life that you just taking like, man, I'm done with this. And you just chunk it and throw it away. Right? You just give up on it. And imagine if I didn't give up on those okra plants, if I would have left them in that seal that I had them in, I would have kept treating and growing, and what they would have really grew for. Right? I just threw it off to the side and they still had the chance to grow. That's what I'm saying. I was putting school off to the side, and still some way, somehow I figured out how to get through it. But imagine if I would have went in there more with a more intention. I would have been more deliberate about what I was doing. Right? I would have got a different result coming out of it. Instead of just putting it off to the side. You see what I'm saying? Y'all not putting the energy into it because you already thinking about how you going to quit and get out of it. Instead of already putting into, look, I'm going to see this thing through to the end. That's how I'm going into it. When I plant these seeds, I'm going to see it out into the final harvest. Until we pull the final thing off the plant and say, this is it. The harvest is done. The planting season is done. Until everything has been done, then I'm going to pull out the game. I'm not saying that you can't go to sleep. You can go to sleep. You can rest. You can do other things. But that does not mean that I'm out of the season. The season is still going. The season is still going. Even though I say easy season, that does not mean that the season is done. The season is still going. So just because you put those things to the side, look, I put them to the side and them things still grew. Y'all could put those things to the side and still grow. But that doesn't mean that you're going to be able to get the full harvest that you would have got if you would have put your actual time and attention and energy into it. Right? But, hey, I didn't understand. I didn't know how far I came. I didn't understand the sacrifice that I made to drive to the store, get those seeds, buy the pots, buy the soil, put them in there, water them for weeks, checking up on them and everything. I forgot the sacrifice that I made. And by me forgetting the sacrifice I made, it was so easy for me to quit. But when you keep the sacrifice on your mind daily, when you keep remembering how good God has been to you, when you keep remembering the vision that's going on in your life, when you keep remembering the things that you want to happen in your life, it makes it harder for you to steer down to another path. Right? When I'm getting off work and I tell myself, look, man, I'm supposed to go here. And I keep telling myself, go here, go here, go here. Even though in my natural sense, I want to just hop in the car and go straight home. I've already told myself, look, we going here. We going to do this. We going here. We going to do this. We going here. We going to do this. And I make sure I go there and I go do that. Instead of doing what my natural body wants to do and get in the car after work and go straight home. You see what I'm saying? So, man, I'm telling y'all, man, you have come too far to quit. You putting too much work to quit, y'all. Remember that. Keep your vision on your mind daily. Keep God on your mind daily. And keep remembering that this path that you're trying to go on, this is what you want for yourself. But you have come too far to quit. You coming too far to put in the towel. You coming too far to not give the energy that's needed for you to win the game, man. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Whether you listening to this on the podcast platform, you listen to it on YouTube, man, or this whatever platform you listen to it, man, you can like, subscribe, comment, share, man, spread the word, give us 5-star ratings, man. If this is on, if you see this video on Instagram, man, we'll have clips on it on TikTok, man. Follow us on there. It's Coach Williz, Coach Williz with a Z, Coach Williz, CoachWilliz, Coach Williz. And then for the YouTube, the podcast, it's the Be Eazy Show. The Be Eazy Show. Easy with a Z. The Be Eazy Show, man. Follow us, man. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, man. Give us a 5-star rating. Do those things, man. And just help spread the word, man, because it's very appreciated, man. And, man, I just want y'all to know, man, that you come too far to quit, man. No matter what, man, it may not always look the way that you want it to look. It may not always go the way that you want it to go. But that doesn't change the fact that you are putting too much work to throw in the towel. You putting too much work, man, to become the person that you are today. You putting too much work, man, to even if you haven't got the results that you want, you still putting too much work to quit. All right, so see this thing through to the end, man. See this thing through to the end, man. And have mercy on yourself, man. Yes, we want and we ask for mercy from God, but have mercy on yourself, right? That even when you fail, you can get back up and still keep going. Even when you quit on something that you thought that you was going to do to the end, you can still have mercy to not quit on yourself. And that the next thing that you find yourself doing, you're going to give your all to it. And you're going to see it through until the final harvest. And you, and not just you, but if I would have finished those okra seeds, my whole family would have got to eat some okra. So when you see this thing through, just think about all the people that you're going to bless by doing this. Right? Just think about all the people that you're going to bless by doing this, man. So it's not just me asking for you, it's yourself. And it's not just yourself, it's the people that's impacted by you, man. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Y'all already know, man. Until the next time, man, we're going to be on here Monday again, man, with another word, man, to help and encourage y'all and give hope to the hopeless, man. So it's Coach Willis on here once again, y'all. Be easy, man.